Hi everyone. I am back. Um, I've been trying to upload a video I did yesterday and it's not uploading. It just keeps coming down. Of course, we've had a lot of storms lately. Uh, Living in the mountains is a little bit crazy. Um, I think you'll have to watch yesterday's video to kind of know what's going on with my petition to adopt my grandson out of Florida. I live out of state. Despite the fact that there are case law and statutes that give me rights to do this, full rights, I filed a petition pro se to adopt under a 63 adoption, Section 63 adoption. And I found out by calling the court because nothing had been done in the 2 months almost that I filed. Nothing's been done. So I called up and said, "Do I need to schedule a hearing? Is that holding it up?" No. Although they collected my $400 for a new case filing fee. Of course, they did that right. It's not fraud. They rolled it into the dependency case that exists. Now, I told you all yesterday that there's a case law that went through the second DCA that says that it does not have to go through dependency, that a private adoption hearing can be private and doesn't even have to involve them, doesn't have to, the rights were already terminated, but it would terminate the rights to do that separately above and out of DCF dependency because the judge can hear those types of cases. Anyhow, this brings me to why did this judge do this? Are you telling me in 4 years he hasn't caught wind of this? And this wasn't even, I mean, this is a case that was 4 years ago, but this other law has been cited in other cases that a judge can hear a 63 petition for adoption outside of DCF. DCF doesn't have to give permission. They don't have to say, "Oh, yes, we want these people to adopt." No. And another thing is, and those of you who know laws, especially the federal laws, there's several laws that says that this is against the law and they can be penalized for doing this. Not only should they do an ICPC if there is a willing and 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 also I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive that because we're a relative, that we don't have to go through a home study. I've done them before, uh, and they weren't coincided with the adoption to petition that I did like almost a decade ago. But I don't believe I have to. I believe this is just cut and dry. The child is 17 now. He will be 18 next year, in less than a year. He will be 18. So what's the problem? Why is he languishing in a group home? Because you hate me? Is that the reason? Because that's pathetic. That's the most disgusting, pathetic thing I've ever heard. I as I've said in these before, I am licensed in the state of Florida for a professional license. I just got my notary. I just received my bachelor's in paralegal studies. My husband is licensed with a federal professional license through the FAA. So what's the problem? We own two houses, we have the income, and I'm telling you, we were way better on paper than all the places they've placed him. All the two failed adoptions that's already happened. We're the better. So this is what brings me to this video today. Should judges have immunity? Should they? More and more, we're finding out that judges are as corrupt as the day is long. Whether they're just biased for the state, which they work for the state, they um they work for the state, DCF works for the state gets the money, so let's connect the dots. I don't know who the judge is that signed off on this because, of course, once again, I contacted the clerk by letter and I got a letter back stating that all of the notifications I will get from the court will be through email. They will email me, not mail, not e-filing. They will email me. And I've received two things from the court. I showed those yesterday. One was saying, "Hey, you have this filing fee that's due because you have a new case." Fine. I sent the $400. Okay, not a problem. And then I got a letter back from them when I sent the $400 money order that I would like to know, like, where how will I be getting communication from the court? Okay. So I said, I know they said email and I know mail's difficult. My federal case, everything's had to go by mail. They just don't trust pro se people to do e-filing for some crazy reason. I know how to e-file anyhow. So what ended up happening is I had a portal e-filing, and then I looked up the case that was assigned to my adoption of my grandson, and it's closed. I was like, "This is closed." So I called the clerk yesterday and I found out, oh, he rolled it into dependency and you got a letter in June. Well, guess what? Check my mailbox, check my second mailbox, and on my email. I even did a search in my email for Leon County, a bunch of different other names. No, never got an email, never got mail. Even double checked with the UPS store for my mailbox there. No, I did not get anything from them, which is not like, I'm not surprised because if you all have listened to my story, you'll know that they pulled this crap on my daughter by not sending her the court records that her rights were terminated. What do they fear by not giving you court notifications? There's been so many due process problems. This is going to be another 1983 case, and I'm going to love this one because I had two problems with my first 1983 case. One was statute of limitations, the other one was a shotgun pleading. I know how to fix those. So let's go around this time. It's all new actors because it went from Bay County to Leon County. All new actors. But I am going to include some other people from the old case just because you're evil. And I'm also going to include the judge whenever I find out who it is, when I have to petition for reconsideration, even though I never received the order. Because I have to get the order to appeal it. Because guess what, mofos? I'll be appealing this. I'll be filing in 1983, all before the year is done. I have the time. I have the time. I have the laws on my side. I have the rights on my side. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with this. I'm so tired of the game. I'm tired of, like tricks that have been played from the first DCA. Like, we didn't get your money order. Oh, you didn't? Guess what? Let's file a complaint with the USPS postal commissioner. Let's do that. Oh, no, no. Oh, we found it. We found it. We searched high and low in our records in our mailing room. Sure you did. Sure you did. There was other ways they kept trying to throw out my appeal. They do all the same tricks. You know what I mean? You catch on, but it's a lot of tricks. They figured out a lot of tricks. That's why I don't know why the FBI hasn't gotten involved. I don't know. Maybe parents just don't know. But that's why I have this page because I want to tell parents about the tricks that they do. I want to tell parents how you can file pro se because that's what I've done. I had a lousy Florida attorney who is as crooked as the day is long. They're all crooked. They're all crooked. And I can't wait to find out which judge signed off on consolidating the cases that he wasn't supposed to because it's against case law. Ah, good heavens. I can guarantee you he's at 11. 99.9% of the corrupt judges I found are out of 11. I call it Leavenworth for real. There's some pipeline I've noticed from Levin Law School to the governor to the corrupt judges. I don't know what's going on. Something in that water over there in Gainesville. I don't know. But should judges have immunity? No, I don't believe they should. I don't believe they should. No one's God. They're human, just like us. They're faulty, just like us. They're susceptible to corruption, just like us, just like every other human is. What makes them special? Oh, we don't want you suing every time they screw up. You know what? At the end of the day, every child that's maimed, abused, essayed, or murdered in DCF care is because of a judge. That's it. It's on their hands. The blood is on their hands. I'm sorry I'm so angry. I'm just tired. I'm tired of my grandson being a pawn. I'm tired of all my grandchildren were a pawn for a bunch of evil, maniacal sociopaths. And that's what people in CPS are, sociopaths. They're a bunch of loser, mean girls who couldn't get their way in life, and now it's a power trip for them. It just is. And I'm just tired of it. Tired of the lies. I'm tired of the manipulations. I'm just tired. I will keep fighting this. I'm not tired of the fight because I will win one way or the other. And if it's not for my family, it'll be for other families because I will be a lawyer and I will take some down. That's my goal in life is I want to make it more expensive to CPS to shell out money to families and abused children than they got from taxpayers because it's coming out of our federal funds, our taxpayer funds to do this. We have to say no more. I'm angry and I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I have to be this way. Because I try to be, but I'm so tired of corruption and it's just so blatant. The clerk told me that closing of the case was mailed to me. It was not. UPS store, which is where my address is, sends me an email. It tells me when I get mail. I haven't got mail in a few weeks because most of the mail I got it was from the federal case, and generally I just use it for court because there's a psycho in Texas I don't really want knowing exactly where I live. Why she hasn't killed anyone, I don't understand because she's as evil as the day is long. But anyway, that's another story. We'll show the thing where they thought that DCF thought it was okay to put my grandchildren in a home with her when her husband's had to call the police more than once for domestic violence, and the police have had to sit there and be in a protective stance while he moves out. I bet he keeps going back because whatever. Some people are just. Uh, But I'm the one that the judge says was abusive. Well, if you hear my backstory, you know that I left an abuser once I found out he was doing drugs within weeks. Within weeks, even though he kidnapped me, I still escaped with my children a second time. So I'm really sorry that I'm getting angry because I don't mean to be so angry. But I'm tired of children being harmed. I'm tired of children being murdered. And I'm tired of no one in the state that can do something gives a damn. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of reading. God bless Moses Pharaoh. Um, God bless him. because he's shouting from the rooftops that these children need to be protected. And I agree. I agree with him. That's why I'm becoming a lawyer. I may never get my grandchildren. It may be too late for that. But I'll be damned if I don't try and make some case laws and get some federal laws revoked, whatever, till the day I die. I probably have another maybe 25, 30 years in me, and I want to fight to make a change. If I have to keep taking cases to the Supreme Court, I'll do that. I'll do that. If I have to take cases on contingency or pro bono or whatever, I'll do that because it isn't about the money. It's about protecting children at the end of the day, protecting their emotional, mental, every kind of needs. And I'm gonna close this story out because it breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart. I saw on Facebook this mother out of Connecticut. She posted a picture of her 4-year-old daughter with a shiner in foster care. And what's so sad is she looks exactly like one of my grandchildren. I mean, it's almost a spit image, and it just so broke my heart. It wasn't my grandchild, but it looked just like her. And the foster parents don't know how it happened. Happened in the middle of the night. Like, how does a child get a black eye in the middle of the night? I mean, it's a big old black eye. I mean, it looks horrific. How does a child get a black eye in the middle of the night and there's no answer? And I will tell you right now, if any one of us sent our child to school, doctors, daycare with a black eye, and if we had an answer, a reasonable answer, or if we didn't even know how it happened, which how does a parent not know their child got a black eye? Did they fall out of bed? You would hear that. They would come crying to you unless you're a piece of garbage and they're afraid of you. That's a whole nother story then. Your children would be taken out of your home for that. I don't know how my child got a black eye. Your children would be taken out. But this foster family and DCF, I guess, did some sort of investigation and said it's an acceptable incident and kept that child in that foster home. I pray. I started praying immediately to my Heavenly Father, and I said, please protect that child in that home. And please let her know she's loved by her family. And I had to answer that mother because the mother can't see that child. Why? Because they want to break the bond, okay? The mother can't see the child. The parents, her parents and her other family members, the grandparents, biological grandparents, are not allowed visitations and gifts and so on. Why? To break the bond. They'll make excuses up, and I'm so sick of hearing that when you have a bad seed, you could have a bad child. I mean, it's possible. They could be doing drugs. You could have a sociopath for a child. Whoever knows. But I'm tired of hearing the whole tree and every branch off of it is corrupt, is rotted, because it's not. It's not. And I'm just tired of they're trying to break the bond to get this into foster care because in many cases, you get more money from foster care. And another thing is they definitely will not give it to family that fight because why? The longer it stays in court, in and out of court, the more they bleed from taxpayers. I don't even know what my instance has cost them. They left me. Why? Just gives more money for the fight. I'm going to keep, sending in fraud notifications because it's fraud. It's fraud, it's fraud, it's fraud. If our FBI got off their butt, things would change. FBI, get off your But start investigating all these frauds, because this is what that is. This is taxpayer fraud. There's lawsuits. There's cases you can bring with your attorneys. Do I need to bring it in? False Claims Act. Do I need to bring all this in? And by the way, parents and grandparents, you think there's fraud going on? Go look up the laws. Go look up the claims. A lawyer can sue. If the state decides not to take the case, the lawyer can sue. If you want to know more about it, I will lead you to the links that tells you what kind of suit you can file. You can find a lawyer. Lawyer can do it too. But I'm just saying this. A child that has a black eye that's still in court, and a mother that doesn't have visitation to give that child that's getting a black eye, and I don't believe it was an accident, for 1 minute. And I bet there's a lot of other people that don't either. Please pray for this child that she makes it out safe. I told the parents, I messaged her and I said, you got to get your parents, other relatives involved. They got a motion to intervene. Do things pro se if you have to. Screw up if you have. That's fine. A lot of courts will tell you what you did wrong. They can't give you legal advice, but if you filed the wrong document, filed the wrong way, stuff like that, they can tell you. There's enough stuff out on the internet that can walk you through filing a motion to intervene and to appeal it. There are a lot of laws out there. People just don't know about it that have, rights for grandparents against DCF. You just have to look into it. It takes some time. Not everyone has, Westlaw and other databases to look up cases, but some people can share stuff too. I will also post cases at some point that will tell people like where to go. I'll post some cases and stuff like that, and people can read them and stuff like that. Anyhow, I'll just have to make sure I give credit where credit's due on those cases. Okay, so I'm gonna try and get this video and the other one uploaded. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about, should judges have immunity? Full out 100% immunity where you can't sue them. You can't sue them if they put, a child in a home and then that child then gets murdered. The end of the line is the judge. Look at the judge that I believe he retired that put that Harmony child. I think that's what her name was, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Harmony child with her father that was a piece of garbage and killed her. Yeah, okay, so maybe the answer isn't mom or dad because they both need to work on themselves. Maybe it's Grammy, grandpa, or Auntie M or something like that, right? All right, people, let's talk. We'll talk later. Please, if you come across my things, please message or put in my comments questions you have, things you want to talk over. If you need me to direct you somewhere, I am not a lawyer. I cannot give you legal advice, but I can direct you to laws. I can direct you to websites and articles and stuff like that. I can direct you that. I can give you links to those. And then you can go there. Also, if you do look up certain, sometimes there's sample cases that trickle in onto Google. Copy them. You know what I mean? If you find something that looks similar to your case, use that as a like a boilerplate. Kind of find a boilerplate. A lot of documents are also online that you can print out. So Best of luck to you all. We'll get through this. We, my, my end goal is to make it a law that children must go to family that they know or a close family friend that they know or a good neighbor that wants them. You'd be amazed how many people love the children around them. People will take in the child's best friend. You'd be surprised. Let's stop making this a financial incentive because there are people I know that will take in a bunch of kids. I know this is a long video and I won't make this because I do a lot of search on YouTube because I am saving videos because I do want to talk about certain things. Um, in my neck of the woods in Florida, I own a house still in Florida. And in my neck of the woods, I happened to find a case about almost a year ago where in a double wide in Fort White, Florida, you all can probably look up this case. I believe they had um, nine African American children were placed with them. I don't know if they were all siblings. I don't know what any of that is, and I do have to kind of look into more of this, but I just kind of happenstance on this the other day. So in this probably three, max four bedroom, double wide, and a podunk rural backwoods town, Fort White, Florida. You have two parents, 40s, 50s. Also living with them is their two adult boy and girl children. So that's three bedrooms right there, right? The parents in one, the 20 something son in one, the 20 something son in another. So where is DCF approving nine children to sleep? With parents? With the adult children? That's not related. Those are all against the law. If you look at the laws, a non relative cannot share a bedroom with a foster child. Look at those laws. So you telling me DCF approved nine children in one bedroom or in the living room if it's only a three-bedroom double wide? Well, as it turned out, the children reported that the father and the adult son SA'd some of them. Yeah. What piece of garbage Columbia County judge was that? They're corrupt. They're corrupt. These judges are corrupt. I mean, what happens to them? Do they even get egg on their face? Do they? I don't think so. I doubt it. I just like, oh well, they're just a number. Collateral damage. Yada yada yada. No, these are our babies. And if you ever delivered a baby, carried that baby, and then delivered it, it's not a piece of cake. It's not a cakewalk. It hurts like hell. And it's a sacrifice that we lovingly make. We sacrifice our bodies um for our babies. And then we want to raise them and make sure they go out in the world safely. We don't want them murdered. We don't want to have them taken from us from DCF and sit there and say, okay, I'm going to work my case. I'm going to do my parenting. I'm going to take drug testing. I'm going to take a neuropsychological report that's going to be slanted to the case manager's narrative. Yeah, you all know that. Raise your hand if you've ever had a neuropsych report come back out that was nothing like you, that said you had antisocial a personality disorder or borderline personality disorder or narcissistic or something like that. And you're like, that's not me. You look up all the traits and you're like, well, I maybe hit 1 out of 10, maybe 2 out of 10. This isn't me. That's because that's a narrative. All these people make money, and with the money they make with this multi-billion-dollar industry, guess what? They will lie. They'll all lie. It's because it's a paycheck. It's a paycheck. We're gonna end it. We're gonna start fighting harder for these children, right, people? Right? Come on. It's our duty to society to make sure these kids are raised healthy, sane, and that they're protected by those that love them, not by the government, because the government doesn't love them. They're just a statistic to me. A death is felt sadly for a couple of days and then moved on, and that child's forgotten. The parents give their children, not willingly, to the care of DCF. And they, like I said, say, I hope that everything works out. I'm going to do my parenting. I'm going to do everything I can. Maybe I'll go back to school. I'll do whatever I can to get my kids back. I'll jump through every fiery hoop because that's what it is. There are a bunch of hoops that you have to jump through. But I want my kids. I love them that much. And I'll do everything I can to get them back. And you're going through your parenting classes, you're going to court. You might lose your job because the job gets tired of all the court hearings, all the parenting classes. Look for another job. Some people lose their house, lose everything they own, and then you get a call. Your child died 2 weeks ago. That hope is gone of ever getting your child back. You'll never get that child back. And they don't care. It's just a statistic. Just a statistic. My grandchildren aren't a statistic. I watched 3 of them come into this world. I would die for them. I would die for them without hesitation. I'm not afraid of dying. And so they could live, but I'm not afraid of dying. Never been. I've I've cheated death so many times I can't even tell you. I almost struck by lightning right by my foot when I was a toddler in Massachusetts. I mean, I saw the grassland. I just missed being struck by lightning. Held up at gunpoint in Norfolk, Virginia, and they killed people. And then I was thrown from a car. I should have died. I should have died. I mean, it was bad, but God has me here for a reason, I believe. I believe my grandchildren were taken so I can fight, so I can learn. I believe that I will make changes. But I can't do this alone. I need you parents to help me. I really do. We all need to form together. We can't just send a couple people to DC. We need to start setting up GoFundMe's, and I'm going to tell you right now, if I ever win any of my cases in court, and if I can get some nice big seven figure winnings out of them, it's going to go into funds for parents, for drug testing, for parenting classes, for lawyers, everything. Just set up these funds, and it's going to be whatever the family needs to be unified, to be whole. Sometimes parents just have to be told the best way to do something. It doesn't have to be a perfect way to do something. It's not a better way, not best, a better way to do something. So that's all. Contact me if you have any questions. Contact me if you want to help me win this fight. Contact me if you want to talk about certain issues that are just pissing you off. I'm here. I'm here for anybody. Okay? Have a great afternoon.